A 9-year-old girl ran into a biker bar screaming, "My stepfather is selling me." Every biker in the bar turned to stare. "Please help me," she screamed. "He's selling me to a man for $5,000. Clark, the chapter president, moved faster than anyone had seen him move in years. "Who's selling you, sweetheart?" Clark asked gently. "My stepfather," she sobbed. "The man is coming to get me tonight." That's when they heard car doors slamming outside. 2 men walked in, one holding rope and duct tape. "There you are, you little brat," the stepfather shouted. He saw 40 bikers surrounding his stepdaughter and froze. "That's my kid," he said nervously. "She's sick in the head, makes up stories." The little girl, whose name was Sophie, clung to Clark. He already took the money. The man behind him gave him $5,000. The second man, older and well-dressed, stepped forward. "This is a family matter, gentlemen." Tank, the enforcer, stood up slowly. "Family doesn't sell family." "You don't understand," the stepfather said quickly. "She's going to a better home, like adoption." "With rope and duct tape?" Razor asked, pointing at what the older man was carrying. The 2 men realized they'd walked into the wrong place at the wrong time. "We're leaving," the stepfather announced, reaching for Sophie. Clark's hand closed around his wrist. "No, you're not." "I'll call the cops," the stepfather threatened. "Please do," Clark said. "Explain to them why you're selling a 9-year-old. That's when Sophie said something that changed everything. "He sold my sister Amy last year. He said she went to live with Grandma, but Grandma's been dead for 2 years. The room went deadly silent. The well-dressed man tried to run. He made it 2 steps before 3 bikers tackled him. "Check his phone," Snake ordered. What they found made even these hardened men sick. Photos of children, addresses, prices. This wasn't the first child he'd bought. "You're done," Clark told both men. The stepfather pulled out a gun. "You don't know who you're messing with." 40 bikers laughed at the single gun pointing at them. "Neither do you," Clark replied.
If you believe bikers are the good people, click the like and subscribe button to show us your support.
Sophie's stepfather, Roy Daniels, thought he was smart. He'd married Sophie's mother 2 years ago for her life insurance policy. When she died in a suspicious car accident, he got everything, including Sophie and her sister Amy. "Where's Amy?" Clark demanded. "I don't know," Roy cried as Tank twisted his arm. "Richard took her somewhere." Richard was the buyer, now zip-tied on the floor. He wasn't talking, but his phone told the whole story. Snake found everything, messages about merchandise, bank transfers, photos that made everyone want to commit murder. "Call 911, Clark ordered. But first, he knelt beside Sophie. "Where's your real family, sweetheart?" "My mom's dead," Sophie said quietly. "My real dad died in Afghanistan when I was 3. The bikers exchanged looks, a Gold Star child. "My mom's parents are in Florida, but Roy said they didn't want me." "He lied," Clark said gently. "We're going to find them." While they waited for police, Snake hacked Roy's email. He found messages from Sophie's grandparents, begging for contact, threatening legal action. Roy had told them the girls had died in the car accident with their mother. "Your grandparents think you're dead," Clark told Sophie gently. "They've been mourning you for a year." Sophie started crying harder. "Can I call them?" "After the police handle this," Clark promised. But then Richard made a mistake. He laughed. "You idiots have no idea what you've done," he said. "I have connections everywhere. Judges, prosecutors, politicians. I'll be out in an hour." Clark smiled coldly. "Maybe, but you'll wish you weren't." The police arrived, led by Detective Sarah Morrison. She took one look at the evidence and called for backup. "Federal crime," she announced. "Human trafficking." Roy started screaming about his rights. Richard demanded his lawyer. But while the cops were processing the scene, every biker was memorizing Richard's face, learning his name. Richard Blackwood, investment banker with a secret hobby. He made bail in 3 hours, just like he'd promised. He walked out of jail smirking, but his smile died when he saw 200 bikers waiting. "Welcome to hell," Clark said simply. They didn't touch him, didn't need to. Everywhere Richard went, bikers followed. His office, his home, his country club. His clients started asking questions. His wife found out why bikers were following his husband. His boss discovered what kind of investments Richard really enjoyed. Within a week, Richard had lost everything. Job, wife, house. reputation. But the bikers weren't done. They found Amy. Snake tracked Richard's properties to a cabin in the mountains. 40 bikers rode there expecting the worst. They found Amy alive, locked in a basement with 3 other girls, all reported missing over the past 2 years. The girls were rescued. Richard was rearrested, and this time no bail could save him. But there was still Roy to handle. He'd made bail too, lower charges since he was just selling his stepdaughter, not buying. Roy thought he could disappear, start over somewhere else. He packed his car with the money he'd hidden from his wife's insurance. He made it 10 miles before his engine died. Sugar in the gas tank, maybe. Who could prove it? While waiting for a tow truck, Roy heard motorcycles. Lots of them. They circled his broken car like sharks, engines revving, but never touching him. Roy called 911, screaming about harassment. The dispatcher said all units were busy. Strange. For 3 hours, Roy sat in his car, surrounded by bikers. Some held signs with Amy and Sophie's names. Others held pictures of their mother. Finally, a tow truck arrived. The driver took one look at the bikers and drove away. Roy tried to run on foot. The bikers followed, walking their bikes slowly, engines rumbling. He ran into a diner, begging for help. The patrons saw the bikers through the window and told Roy to leave. "Please," Roy cried. "They're going to kill me."
If you love reading stories, visit our website for best biker stories. www.bikersbite.com.
"No," Clark said from the doorway. "Death would be too easy." What happened next became legend in that small town. Roy tried to hide in a church. The priest took one look at him and said, "Even God won't protect child sellers." He tried the hospital. Security threw him out. He tried the bus station. Every bus was mysteriously full. For 2 days, Roy couldn't eat, sleep, or escape the sound of motorcycles. Everywhere he went, people knew what he'd done. Sophie's story had spread like wildfire. Finally, Roy did the only thing he could. He walked back to the police station and confessed to everything. His wife's murder, selling Amy, trying to sell Sophie. He begged to be locked up, protected from the bikers who never actually touched him but destroyed him completely. Roy got 40 years. No parole. Richard Blackwood got life without parole for trafficking multiple children. In prison, word spread about what he'd done. He lasted 1 week in general population before requesting permanent solitary confinement. He's still there, alone with his demons, 23 hours a day. Amy was reunited with Sophie at their grandparents' house in Florida. The elderly couple had spent their savings trying to find the girls they thought were dead. The Iron Horse Saloon is now Sophie and Amy's college fund. Every biker who was there that night contributes monthly. They'll never want for anything. Sophie's grandparents moved back to town to raise the girls properly. The Hells Angels bought the house next door and turned it into a clubhouse. The safest children in America live next to 40 guardian angels in leather. Word spread through the underground. Child sellers, traffickers, abusers, they all know now. Don't operate near the Iron Horse. Don't hurt children in that town. Don't test the Hells Angels, because 40 bikers who became an army for one little girl will become an army again, every single time.